Every Friday from 3:05 to 4 on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. It's the Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. Talking local sports every Friday. Getting you ready for the weekend and what lies ahead. High school sports, UConn, ECSU, and more. The Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto is brought to you by your local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Windham, 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 1575 West Main Street, and 407 Jackson Street. The Friday Sports Scene. Now, here's Keith C. Rice and Jan Koivisto.
Thank you, Eddie Bishop. Welcome into the November 21st edition of the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene here on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. Brought to you by our local Dunkin' stores, South Windham, Jackson Street, West Main Street, Willimantic. Keith C. Rice, joined by the Chronicles' Jan Koivisto. We got Nick Erlinson, who will meet in just a few, because this is Jan's, I just called you Jan's last day for a few months before he goes on a coaching hiatus. So we'll get to know the new guy, Nick, in just a few. Big thanks to J. Matt Rupar on the other side. We'll take you up to his show, which is called Homegrown, every Friday. A little teaser, what's coming up on Homegrown, Mr. Rupar? As he's scrambling all around. Yeah. He's got cameras. He's got microphones.
I'm doing all right. I got Bill Naughton Jr. coming on.
Former WILI, back in the day, Willie J. I was like 9 or 10 years old when Willie J. Naughton was a DJ here on WILI. So J. Matt Rupar will be spotlighting him on Homegrown following the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene.
The song's going to be called The First Time Again.
How about that?
It's a good one. It's a good
And
one.
a little teaser, maybe down the road. Willie J listens pretty frequently, so we got to give him a shout out. And you never know, maybe someday down the road on the weekend, we may have a back in the day Willie J program here. Possibly. We're kind of kicking that around now. So looking forward to Homegrown coming up with J. Matt Rupar. Lots to cover here on the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. And as I said, we'll meet the new guy, Nick, in just a sec. Let's get right to it here. We'll do the rundown the local sports with some of the scores, what's on tap. We got a big UConn women's game on tonight, a huge game, as the top-ranked UConn women's basketball team at 4-0 has their first top 10 matchup, taking on number 6 Michigan in the Basketball Hall of Fame Women's Showcase tonight at Mohegan Sun Arena. That's an 8 o'clock tap, 7:30 here on WILI. How about this, guys? UConn is 45-1 all-time at Mohegan Sun Arena.
I saw that today. You know what's funny, though? They had a 99 game gamble streak.
That's right.
Home streak a little while ago. You know who broke it?
Wait, don't tell me. I can't remember now. Who?
St. John's and Kim Bonds Arico, who now coaches at Michigan.
Oh, very
Little
good.
tidbit for you.
I don't even know if Wayno, who's on his way to Boca Raton, that's a very good one, Jan.
There you go.
UConn is 135-56 all-time in games where both teams were ranked in the top 10, so that's going to be a good one. And our second guest today, newsman John, yes, John Tua from WILI, who knows his UConn men's and women's basketball from years calling them on the UConn student station, their WHUS. JT will join us at 3:35 to get us up to speed and ready for UConn Michigan tonight. UConn men trying to get back on the winning track against Bryant. Should have no problem with that. Keep resting, Terrace Reed. Huskies, a tough loss to Arizona. We'll try and get into little of that as well. That's a 6 o'clock tap on Sunday in Hartford, 5:30 airtime here on WILI, UConn and Bryant. Before I forget, we go any further. Props to Coventry and Ram. It's like a week old, but we're only on here once a week. Coventry and Ram girls volleyball state champs.
Unbelievable. Four of the last 5 for Ram, 11-3 in state title games since 2007. So great run for them. Coventry, 2 of the last 3. Great for the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have said it better myself. The UConn Huskies, as you just mentioned, the football team, Wayno on his way to beautiful Boca, getting out of the cold for, less than 24 hours because he's going to be back here to call the UConn men's game Sunday in Hartford. UConn finishes their football season, the regular season that is, at Florida Atlantic. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow, 1:30 pregame on WILI. The Huskies are only one of 2 Group 5 teams nationally to earn 2 wins this season over Power 4 schools, the other one being Tulane. UConn is 2-1 against P4 teams this season with that 37-34 win over Duke and the win over Boston College. And also the UConn football team returned to the AP Top 25 poll this week for the first time since the final poll of the 2010 season. So Huskies looking to close the regular season with a win down at Florida Atlantic tomorrow. UConn hockey team on a home-and-home series with the University of New Hampshire beginning tonight in Durham. Huskies are coming off a weekend sweep at number 11 Northeastern. Let's see what else we got here. Number 9, UConn women's hockey at 8-3-1, set to host the Vermont Catamounts for a 2-game series this weekend at the Toscano Family Ice Forum. Beautiful venue. I got to get up there and see it. I've walked past it plenty of times. Have you guys been to the Toscano Family Ice Forum yet?
Never seen it.
Only from the outside. I live like 2 minutes away from
That's
there.
right, Nick. Yeah, you live like walking distance, right? We'll learn all about Nick Erlinson in just a sec here. So UConn and Vermont, they'll play a weekend home-and-home series. Not home-and-home, but it'll be in stores this weekend. UConn women's hockey in Vermont. ECSU women's basketball will compete at the, is it Oneonta and Hartwick Classic Friday and Saturday at up at the SUNY Oneonta campus. I think it's Oneonta. Eastern meets SUNY Oneonta tonight at 7:30, and then they'll play Hartwick Saturday at 2. That's up with the ECS. That's what's up with ECSU women's basketball. We got some ECSU field hockey news here. Eastern Connecticut State University forward Emma Thomason has been selected as the third player in program history to be named to the National Field Hockey Coaches Senior Team. Sanson named to the Little East Conference All-Conference team this past season for the second straight year, earning first-team accolades. This year was chosen among 60 players nationwide. So congratulations to Emma, the Eastern Field Hockey team there. And one more UConn soccer note here. UConn soccer is the 13th seed overall. They will play the winner of Cornell Lafayette Sunday at 2 at Maroney Stadium. UConn men's soccer back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2018. High school football, kind of a light schedule. Wyndham is off till Thanksgiving when they play Montville. They're at Montville. And in just a few minutes, we'll talk to Chad Neal, who's a longtime legendary Killingly football coach. They're in action playing Woodstock, correct?
No, I don't think they play until...
I see here Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yep,
Thanksgiving. Game. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, I meant Thanksgiving against Woodstock, 9-0. So we'll talk to the head coach of Killingly in just a sec. There was a game last night. Valley Regional Lime Old Lime, Valley Regional, or VRLOL, beat Coventry 56-12. And then tomorrow it's Ram at Bacon Lyman. All right, we're going to get to Chad Neal in just a sec, but a few words from our new guy, Nick Erlinson, will be sitting in for Jan for the next few months, starting next week. We want to get Nick a feel for the show. Nick, tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Keith. Well, I grew up in Mansfield for the most part. Graduated at E.O. Smith. I am a published children's author and freelance writer for New Leaf News, in addition to working here in town. I'm a graduate of the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting.
Really?
And I'm excited to be here.
What are your teams? Give us your sports teams here.
I'm all over the map with that, but like for NFL, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
That's because you lived in Florida, right? Till you were 10 or something?
Yeah, I lived there as a kid for a few years, and then as the Dallas Cowboys and everything like that, I got into them a little bit when I started to follow football, but drifted away when the Bucs got guys like Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott and stuff. And I'm a Celtics and Orlando Magic fan because I jumped on the Shaq and Penny bandwagon, and after they left, I never jumped off. I'm an athletics fan because when I was a kid, Ricky Henderson was my guy, and I've stayed loyal despite the fact that they didn't stay loyal to their city that they were in.
So I'm not coughing at the Athletics.
Yeah, that's okay. And
soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics, right?
Yep. And that's about it for pro teams. I follow Notre Dame football and UConn. And I'm a Florida Gators fan as well.
All right.
Well, he is all over the map.
So we will get to know Nick Erlinson throughout the show here and there. This is the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you.
Here on WILI, the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Before we get to Chad Neal, big thanks to our local Duncan stores. Make sure you try the bacon jam sandwiches. Excuse me, I started to lose my voice. Bad time for this. The berry sangria. This is so embarrassing. Jan, I need you to take over.
Live show. I can't do the.
Let's bring in Chad.
Let's bring in Chad.
I'll be right back.
Here's Chad.
He's there.
Hey, Chad. Keith just had a little coughing fit fit there, so it's Nick and I you get today. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, so I've known you for a long time, but we'll introduce you to the audience here a little bit. Longtime coach at Killingley, Plainfield, Putnam High School graduate, and now you've built a dynasty where you're at.
Yeah, it's been a great run. It's gone by fast, and truly enjoy what I do every day, and that's working with some great kids.
So tell me about how we got here. So you had those your first decade, couple of 6-win seasons, but some not winning seasons. Did you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and B, what happened that you got to where you're at now?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. When I got there, I was the third head coach in 4 years, so it took a little while to build the trust of the players. At that time, we were still at the old high school on Westfield Ave. Our enrollment was down quite a bit. But one thing, myself and my staff, we made sure of is we had principles and values in place and what we expected of our student athletes on and off the field. And we weren't going to waver from that. And I thought, once we established that, then we move into the new high school, and it just takes a little time. And then probably around 2010 and 11, our youth program started running our stuff, our offense, our philosophy, our terminology, and that helped quite a bit. Staff-wise, I had some new guys join my staff that were very not only experienced, but brought something to the table that was very helpful. One being Chad Caffrey, who does our strength and conditioning at the barn. Gary Bryan, a long-time defensive coordinator and former head coach. So you look at guys like that, and you put those with Matt Sumner, who was with me from the beginning. Trevor Laro, who started in 2008 with me. It was the right time, the right storm, the right mix, and of course the kids. You coach the game because the kids bought in.
So you mentioned Matt, who obviously I know well, and it's funny because 2 weeks ago I think we had on Coach Pros, and I made the comment that every time I look in the paper, you guys run people over, I know that, but every time I look in the paper, Quinn is 6 of 7 for 180 yards, and sure enough, last game against Waterford, 5 for 6 for 152. So what can you tell me about Quinn, and are you going to let him pass a little bit more?
Yeah, here's the thing. We look at the number of offensive plays we've been running per game, and we're really only running just under 30 offensive plays a game, believe it or not.
You squat too quick.
And
Right.
We are. And then we really are. If you look at our yards, Terry, and it's really sometimes puts a strain on our defense because they're on the field a lot more, and those kids are breaking up long runs or long passes. So, it's just a matter of the number of times we have the ball and how soon we score. It's a good problem to have, don't get me wrong.
Rich people problems.
Yeah, and then when you're up, you don't want to throw the ball as much. So it's like, it's a catch. But Quinn, we have all the confidence in the world with Quinn. If we gotta drop back and throw 25 times in a game, I have no problem doing that.
Coach Chad Neal with us. Hey, Coach, it's Keith. I'm back. For some reason, I had like a 2-minute coughing attack. It came out of nowhere. But thank you to Jan for hooking this up, and it's great to have you on because I think we talked about you on the first ever show. So we'd love to get Chad Neal on here because your program, so much respect for it, for someone who's grew up in the Wyndham area. But great job, and I apologize if I already missed this question. I had to leave the studio. Did you already bring up the upcoming game, or
no? We haven't talked about that at all yet.
So Thanksgiving Day, you guys. Well, first of all, congrats on the 9-0 start, right? And you got Woodstock coming up Thanksgiving Day. Care to give us a little preview of that game coming up on Turkey Day?
Yeah, so Woodstock's a young team. They've gotten better as the season's gone on. They do some things offensively that we definitely got to prepare for, especially their passing game, their screen game. But knowing our kids, they're gonna be ready. This will be our last Thanksgiving Day game against them. And so, our kids are going to be geared up to finish the season strong.
So you mentioned Caffrey there, and Austin was a great running back. You've had Spencer Lockwood, Soren Reef. Who's this year's guy? I know who it is, but why don't you tell the audience who this year's guy is?
Oh, yes. Hayden Allard. He's special. He's, he's done some things on both sides of the ball. But he's explosive. He's physical. At URI this past summer, he ran a 4.47, legit clock time, and he's about 6 foot, 200 pounds, and he can move. But he's a skilled guy also. So, he fits in line with those other great running backs we've had.
Coach, I brought this up to Jan, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you've had so much success at Killingly, and I know you're very happy there. Your goal is to coach your son someday. Do you ever think down the road? I mean, you've had so much success, and hats off to you. Do you ever think you'd want to go to the next level at some point? Like, do you ever? Again, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it's got to be sometimes in the back of your mind. I'm talking way down the rope. You're only in your 50s.
Yeah, not 50 yet, so that's a good thing.
Sorry, not 50 yet.
Yeah.
Almost.
Almost 50. Sorry.
Almost 50. Getting there next year.
Right.
Next year, the Big 5-0. But, that's a good question. College is a whole different life. Those guys are on the road an awful lot. You're fighting to survive. But I could see myself someday, being an assistant coach at a small Division III school, helping out, or I love special teams personally, so somewhere maybe there, or just something kind of low key where I can just coach football, maybe. But I love what I do now, and I teach at the school, so it's a good career.
So he teaches at the school. I'm kind of saying this to Keith and Nick here. My daughter, Michaela, was at the school for a few years as a counselor, and she always says Chad Neal is one of the best people on the planet. So
yeah, I'm sure they'd be crushed if they lost you. Yeah,
praise.
And as I said, following from afar here in the Wyndham area, believe me, we keep up on what the Killingly program's doing. You should be very proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you. Well, Michaela's one of the best. I mean, she went to the dark side over at Woodstock. But, we tried to get her back, and you guys over in Wyndham, I know, one of the guys I always looked up to when I was coming up and coaching was Brian Crudden.
I knew you'd say Crudden.
I always felt, he epitomized what it meant to be a coach, character, what he got out of the kids, and just, his persona. That's something that, as a coach, I looked at and said, man, that's who I'd want to play for, but also that's who I'd like to emulate.
So, Coach Neal, Coach Chad Neal from Killingly joining us here on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI. You played against Crudden, correct?
No, yeah, I did as a coach. I never played as a player against them.
What was it like coaching against Crudden?
Oh, it was. His teams are always prepared. I think the first time we got them was 2011. I think it was 2000. They all run together. We played them on a Thursday night in the pouring rain, and we finally beat them. His team, the wing T and a 4-4 split defense.
Yep.
So you had to be prepared, and the kids played hard, and we always had a lot of respect for Wyndham anyway. I think both towns, not just through football, but wrestling and, playing on Thanksgiving for years, but we always have, and still do, a lot of Coach Pros I have a lot of respect for, because those kids from Wyndham, no matter what their record would be, you're gonna be in a football game, and it's gonna be physical, and it's just a great matchup. And that
Killingly Wyndham game, correct me if I'm wrong, was the Turkey Day game for how many years, right?
Yeah, I think it was from 1980. I want to say 84 till 2000.
We carried the games
99, 2000, yeah.
We carried a lot of the games on WILI, so I kind of miss those days, those rivalries, the Killingly.
Yeah, there were some good ones. I mean, if you look at, I think it was 96 when Killingly won it. Wyndham beat them on Thanksgiving that year. And Killingly went and beat Plainfield and New Canaan to win it. So, A lot of history there.
I wish I had I wish I did a little extra digging before the show. I could have see what what the series is, or what it was for those Wyndham Killingly Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Like who had the edge, but we could find that for another day. But anybody else?
I got one more. I wanted to give a couple more kids a shout out because whenever I see a Killingly kid talk, whether it's on one of the clips on video or on the radio, especially the skill position players, they always get the credit. They always give shout out to the big boys up front. And Chad used to be a lineman.
That's right.
So who's doing the heavy lifting on the line for you this year?
Yeah, so Tyler Smith's our right tackle. Matthew Gannett is our right guard. Zach Phillips is our center. Left guard is Michael Allen, and left tackle is Devin Moe. Four of the five returned from last year, but they are good. They are very cerebral. They smart, great technique, and when they come off the field and something's not going right, they can make the corrections. Very, very good up front.
I got to tell you, not to denigrate your running back, who was great too, but I feel at 59, I might be able to run through a couple holes they create.
Yeah, one time, Jen. That's it, though.
Hey, wait! Any advice from coach to coach here? Because
Yes.
Coach Neal, we got Coach Koivisto here, who's getting ready to leave the show for a few months to go do his head coaching girls basketball thing at Plainfield.
Yep.
So, Coach Neal, any advice for Coach Koivisto?
Have fun. Have fun, and I know he's going to do a great job. I know him is obviously a great career at Plainfield, but also his involvement in the Connecticut Breakers and the AAU, and helping the players, especially Northeast Connecticut, develop and get better. So Plainfield's in good hands, trust me. And I was hoping they'd get him over in Putnam. But,
I think Putnam's going to be better too, though. I think they hired a good young coach, and I think more girls are going to play. And they got it tough because they're a true Class S school, but I do think that they're going to be improved.
Yeah, it's tough. It's small schools. It's tough. It's getting more and more difficult. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch, and I look forward to seeing some games this year.
All right.
Thank you, Chad.
Jen, good job getting this. Coach Neal, thank you for a few minutes. I apologize for the coughing attack there. But it's great to have you. You'll be able to watch this show. I should mention the WILI Radio YouTube channel will be up on our Facebook, so we'll tag you and all that. But good luck against Woodstock, and happy Thanksgiving.
And good luck in the tourney.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, too. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Bring another one home.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, there he goes, Coach Chad Neal. Thank you again, Jan. Good job on that.
Awesome.
And in a few minutes, we'll bring in our very own John Tuite, talk a little UConn women's basketball. I want to get back to what I was trying to say before I just got over a cold. It had nothing to do with the cold. I had a bad coughing attack. So I was mentioning or giving thanks to our that time of year. Give thanks to our local Dunkin' stores at Route 32 South Wyndham, 407 Jackson Street, 1015 Main Street, and 1575 West Main Street, Willimantic. Again, what I was trying to say, try the bacon jam sandwiches, the berry sangria refreshers made primarily with green tea and lemonade. The Friday sports team with Keith and Koivisto runs on Dunkin'. Nick Erlinson, what'd you think? Your first interview there, you got to hear Chad Neal?
Yep.
Killingly head coach. We're going to get John Tuite on here in just a sec. The Dunkin' Friday sports scene continues in a few here on WILI. Well, I can't wait to see the coughing attack on YouTube. As Jan said, it's live radio. What are you going to do? It's, my goodness gracious.
You'll get to see how well I filled in there.
Yeah. And I guess for what you guys said, Matt, I was turning red.
Yeah, it was rough.
I was like, oh, my God, what an embarrassing moment.
It was rough.
Yeah, so I had to go out there for 2 minutes. I was literally bent over coughing and then trying to gather myself and catch my breath. And then before I left, not to relive this, my voice was going. That was the weirdest thing.
Live radio, baby.
I had a cold earlier in the week. I'm fine, but that wasn't even cold related. I just started, I have had a cough here and there. But anyway, we move on. We will talk to John Tuite in just a sec here on the Dunkin' Friday sports team with Keith and Koivisto and our new guy, Nick Erlinson. Before we get to John, and by the way, yes, I just saw Nick wave. We do, the cameras are on because you can go back and watch us on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Matt's been very good at uploading this almost instantly. I think Matt had it up, Friday night last week. He had it up almost instantly after the show. You could sometime over the weekend. Thank you, Matt. Cough drop. In case I in case it happens again. But yeah, so you can not only listen to the show live on WILI every Friday from 3:05 to 4, but you can go back and watch it anytime you want. Subscribe to WILI on YouTube by going to WILI Radio. Anyway, so Nick, we've got a few minutes here before we get to John. Where do you work? Where do you work in town? And yeah, tell us some more about that.
Locally, I work at Prismian over on Main Street in Willimantic, and I just make wire and cable, and they're paying me to be here right now.
And how long you been there?
I've been there 14 and a half years.
And that's formally, as for people that may know it as I grew up, it was Brand Rex.
And General Cable.
And General Cable. Very good. I knew there was something in between. Now it's Prismian?
Prismian, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And when did it become, how do you say it again?
Prismian?
When was that?
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like
so
that. I
that's
don't know the
really
exact year, but
yeah. All right.
before COVID.
And you said you worked at Stop and Shop back in the day too, right?
Yeah, I was there for like 12 years in the deli department.
All right. Well, welcome aboard again. The reason why Nick Erlinson is here, he'll be stepping in for Jan Koivisto from the Chronicle for a few months as Jan goes on his coaching hiatus. Good luck with the Plainfield girls this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've had a couple preseason meetings, an ECC meeting last night. I'm pumped. It's gonna be fun. Like you said, first year I've done high school. I've done 20 years of AAU, so I'm an experienced coach. But first year I've done high school as a head coach, and first year I've done high school in 25 years. So
this is so we'll be following you closely. I know you'll be checking in.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna win some games, and the league semifinals is at Plainfield. Just the luck of the draw. So we got to figure out how to get there, and then we could be playing in the league finals at Mohegan Sun if we can figure out how to get there.
This is a good deal. I've always I went to I sat press row there for the Wyndham girls final last year. So hopefully we'll be watching.
Well, that was the state final though.
That was
That was the state final.
You're talking about the tournament.
ECC final. Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
The state will take it as it comes.
I'll go to the ECC final.
I'll invite you.
And do the kids call you Coach K or is it Coach Koivisto?
Coach Jan.
Coach Jan.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. It's just that Mr. Koivisto or Coach Koivisto just does never sound right to me.
Coach K, like Coach Krzyzewski.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. There's only one Coach K.
Hey, you never know. You might be sending some of those Plainfield girls to play for Gino someday. And what a transition this is. That was like a Wayno transition, going from the possibility of Coach Jan sending maybe one of his girls to play for Gino someday. You never know. And here to speak a little about UConn women's basketball is our very own John Tuite. Hold on. There you go. JT, we got you?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. We got the Chronicles, Jan Koivisto, Nick Erlinson here. Hello. And the new guys will be filling in for Jan. And we're here to talk a little UConn women hoops because there's a big game on tap tonight. Right, JT? Are you going, by the way?
No, I'm doing a public address for UConn women's hockey against Vermont at 6, and then I'm running home to watch the game.
All right, yeah, it's at 8 o'clock tap, 7:30 on WILI. UConn women's first top 10 matchup tonight at Mohegan Sun Arena, and it's the Huskies against 6th-ranked Michigan. And you're pretty up on the UConn women's hoops. How do the Huskies look going into this top 10 matchup tonight, JT?
Well, I would say that there's probably 7 games this year where the opponent of UConn has a fighting chance, and that might even be generous. This is a powerhouse team, as usual, for UConn. Michigan is certainly one of the teams that has a chance tonight. It would take a lot of different combinations of things to happen for UConn to lose tonight. I think the recipe for beating UConn almost always includes being good from the three-point line, and UConn being bad at the three-point line. That's a starter for a upset-minded team. And the Wolverines can definitely shoot it. They're shooting over 40% as a team from three-point range. And they got a range of players that can shoot the three, too. They're a real versatile unit, and they've got 5 players in double figures, so you can't just focus on one player. If you do focus on one player tonight, it's got to be Olivia Olson. She's a tall inside-outside threat in the mold of a Brianna Stewart, and she's coming in with a team-leading 17.8 points per game, and she can shoot it too, 46% from outside of the line. So the Wolverines come in there as a team that, at least on paper, has a decent chance to at least stay with UConn. But you know the task when you're playing UConn, they're against top 10 teams. Top 10 teams, UConn's all-time record is 135-56.
Unbelievable.
So if you you got to think that Connecticut is probably, if I gave it a percentage, I'd say probably 80% percentage chance of winning tonight. But as I've said at the outset, there aren't going to be very many games that are become competitive. There was a team back when UConn won 4 in a row that went through an entire season. Nobody came within 10 points of them in the final scores.
Hey, John, so you actually, this happens every week. You answered like 3 of my questions right there. But I am going to ask you a little bit. I was dropping the fact that Kim Barnes-Arico, when she was at St. John's, ended UConn's home winning streak. When she at St. John's, she made tournaments the last 3 years, not really ever a hoop powerhouse. At Michigan, she's not qualified for the NCAA 6 out of the last 7. They're ranked 6 this year. Is she like one of the coaches under the radar that just doesn't get enough credit?
I think she is. Maybe she doesn't get that upset in 1912 at Gamble. She doesn't get an interview at Michigan in the Big Ten, but she's taking advantage of it. But now, it's UConn. Michigan's kind of one of those teams that has everything to gain tonight. They're not really taken seriously as a powerhouse program. They're a powerful program just by virtue of being in the Big Ten. But this could be the signature win. Michigan wins tonight. It's the biggest win in program history. UConn wins tonight. It's Game 5 of the schedule.
Good way to put it. I heard you and Wayno the other morning talking about Sarah Strong, how she's only a sophomore, seems to be on another level. I heard you guys say she could obviously start on the WNBA All-Star team, or at the All-Star game like tomorrow. Talk a little about her and just the early impact she's had on this season so far.
Well, she's averaging 20 points a game and almost 9 rebounds, and you could make a good argument that she was every bit as valuable in the NCAA's and in the Final Four as Paige Beckers was a year ago. She was a freshman. I think it's to the point where you expect Maya Moore-type performances out of Sarah Strong routinely, and she does it so unassumingly. She makes great plays and just gets back on defense, and she doesn't gloat. That's another thing to like about her is she's fantastic, but not in a showboaty way. So efficient. She sees she's going one-on-one down court on a drive. She has become so adept at just getting to the slightest amount of contact and getting a sweeping layup in and just doing it so smoothly and without drawing a charge and actually minimizing the contact, but just getting in there and scoring. It's a rare talent you see on the basketball court when somebody can just take somebody one-on-one and just how'd they do that? She just gets it into the inside and scores on the fast break. And of course, she has the outside game too. She's a great player on the outside too. So far, hasn't really clicked that much on the 3-pointers. 5 out of 15 on the season, but through 4 games. And the minutes of the starters have been limited because UConn's had so many blowouts. It was only 13-point margin against Louisville, but then 28 against Florida State, 54 against Loyola of Chicago, and then they socked it to Ohio State by 32. So that means that you really can't judge the UConn numbers because they have 9 players that are getting 10 minutes or more so far in the game in the season.
Our very own John Tuite joining us here for the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI. Keith and Koivisto. Jan, you had a question?
Yep. And I think Strong, correct me if I'm wrong, but has 5 assists per game, so she's playmaking too, which that to me is crazy.
Unbelievable.
So my question was going to be, you had mentioned Michigan's has the 5 girls in double digits. Do they have an advantage at that depth besides Strong and Fudd, or is UConn's 3 through 7 just still better?
I think UConn's 3 through 7 is going to be a pivotal factor in the game because let's just say through a quarter or into the second quarter, and Michigan and UConn are neck and neck, and the Michigan guards are starting to feel pretty good about themselves. That here comes substitutions. You're going to see Heckel off the bench, who's a ball hawk, and Quinones, the freshman, she's long. Fisher is a freshman, and she's quick and long too. And so UConn's the guard defense should be, pretty much unrelenting the entire season. And that's going to be tough. If Michigan doesn't have good guard depth, it'll be exposed tonight because UConn certainly does.
I don't want to look past Michigan because they are a worthy opponent, but not to put you on the spot, if there is a loss down the road for the UConn women, off the top of your head, JT, where do you see it coming? I don't see it happening in the Big East. Do you?
No, but you could put Southern Cal on that list. Iowa's on that list.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee certainly. They actually the loss to Tennessee. A lot of people think was the catalyst for UConn buckling down and making the leap that got them to the level of play that took them to the championship a year ago. You never know. I mean, certainly St. John's didn't think they had a chance when they broke UConn's 99-game home win streak back in the day under Michigan's coach Kim Barnes-Arico. So, having said it, the old cliche, that's why they play the game. I still think that it's 7 or less games where UConn has any chance of losing. Even in an injury scenario, I think UConn has got the best depth that Gino's had maybe ever.
Well, why don't we just I'll give a gut prediction. I think UConn wins this game by about 12 or 15. How about you want to go around the room here, and then we'll get JT's, Jan?
Yeah, the only other comment I was going to make is I just read, I think today, maybe they signed her yesterday, but now they just signed the Serbian for next year.
Oh, yes, I meant to bring that up.
Completely outstanding.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jan. Thank
Popovich.
You, Jan. Yeah, what do you know about Popovich?
And they got a top 3 recruit already coming in.
Oh, my God, I know. It's unbelievable.
Right. The rich get richer. Verbas, Serbia, 5'8", and she's expected to be both a scorer and a defender. Of course, he's not going to recruit her if she can't defend. And she's played extensive under 16 and under 18 Serbian national team games, and so she's not really that wet behind the ears. She'll come in as a great international player. And of course, the player that everybody was coveting, Olivia Lukosa, already signed. And she looks like a Charles Barkley type.
Unbelievable. I think UConn's going to take care of business. I hate to do it, but I find myself sometime when I'm watching the UConn game is rooting for the underdog. At the end of the year, I want them to finish where they finish. But
look, I'm the same way. I'm not saying I always pull for UConn, but look, with all due respect, it's so tough to watch an 85-29 game.
Yes,
it really is,
yeah.
and that's a credit to UConn and Gino and his program. But I think UConn wins by 12 or 15. Nick, you want to throw a prediction in, or?
I say probably 14.
Okay. How about John? You want to throw one out there, or?
Yeah, I'm in that neighborhood too, somewhere between 15 and 10. But what I'm hoping for is for Michigan to play their A+ game, because that's what these games in November are for. And there's been a handful of seasons where UConn went into the Final Four undefeated and had not faced end-of-game pressure situations, and it cost them. So, I hope Michigan plays well, and we have a good, very close game tonight. That'd be good for women's basketball. I also want to make a point too that look where women's basketball is going here. This is not on Fox's main network on a Friday night because of Caitlin Clark or because of Paige Beckers or some star power. I mean, excuse me. I think that AZ Fudd has some name recognition. And the true women's basketball fans will tune in to see Sarah Strong, but it's like the entire brand of women's basketball is rising to get a game on a Friday night on a major network.
No, UConn did that. I mean, I see it being an AAU hoop. The level of girls play when you go to just a normal high school game now, it wasn't that way 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
And UConn has made that play risen with how dominant they've been.
Unbelievable. Great point, John. And before we let you go, a few words on the UConn men against Arizona the other night. I know it's obvious they got killed on the boards, but and they were down. No Terrace Reed, no Mullins. A few words on. They got Bryant, which should be a walk in the park on Sunday. But then Illinois is waiting in the wings. A few words on the UConn men before we let you go.
Well, if you want to be a worrywart, and aren't we all? Solo ball, couldn't shoot it. Caravan was a little overwhelmed physically in that game. Those are two things that the addition of Reed would probably change drastically, but I think that also is a credit to how hard Arizona played and the kind of physical tenacity they showed on defense. That's a good team that I wouldn't be surprised gets far this year, all the way to Final Four, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. They have good athletes.
Tommy Lloyd, the Arizona head coach, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is a Mark Few assistant from Gonzaga. So he comes off a pretty good coaching tree. But I'm with JT. I think Arizona could definitely be a Final Four team.
A friend texted me during the game. They look like men out there.
Yep, Bradley, the Bradley kid, and Koa Pete, who's only a freshman. My God. But anyway, I think UConn wins that game if Reed is in the lineup. I really do. I think I think Arizona still would have been right there, but they'll take it out on Bryant on Sunday, and we'll see what happens when.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and predict Bryant.
Bryant on the points.
Bryant's been a nice little program, though. They've made an NCAA tournament recently.
Absolutely.
They've been a nice program.
Yeah. When's UConn go to Smithfield?
Yeah, that'll happen.
But anyway,
Bryant has. Just as a side, Bryant has become a national thing in men's soccer.
Oh, okay. So JT is very good up on soccer, too. The UConn men's soccer plays winner of Cornell and Lafayette, correct?
Cornell won yesterday 4-0. Lafayette was an automatic bid conference thing. They really didn't belong in, but so Cornell comes in with a head of steam, only 3 losses. You never can tell what you're going to get with an Ivy League team, but they're going to be organized, smart, and good.
So you'll be up at Maroney Stadium on Sunday, correct?
Yeah, that's going to be good. It's the first NCAA game for Chris Bondi, and it's very exciting. Hope there's a big turnout on Sunday. Temps in the mid to upper 40s. Not too bad for mid to late.
It's nice NCAA tournament soccer weather. JT, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.
You got it.
Anytime. Very own John Tuite. And, we talked to UConn women. I'll tell you, he's up on everything. But he's very good with women's basketball. He's up on the WNBA. Soccer, he's always been a big soccer guy as well. And we slid in a little men there. The UConn's got the Fighting Illini of Illinois coming up. So Bryant is one of those cupcake teams that they got to get out of the way. And they'll take their frustrations out on Sunday. But...
Well, I said it last week, and these guys you've gotten in here talking about UConn sports, man, it just blows my mind.
Well,
all been terrific.
Thank you.
Terrific.
We'll get them in a little rotation. We're going to miss you, Mr. Koivisto. We're not done yet. We got a few minutes left here on the Duncan Friday Sports Team, and won't be here next week because it's Black Friday. So Nick will make his debut 2 weeks from today, whatever that is, December. Okay, first Friday in December. I don't have a calendar in front of me. So in the last few minutes, we're going to let's do the Bach Lock.
We'll do it right now.
And we'll do it now. This is my cousin Andy Bach giving us his pick in the NFL for the weekend, and then we'll kind of go around the room and we'll do a few national things and we'll do our lock for the weekend. So go ahead.
All right, Eastern Connecticut, here is your Bach Lock pick of the week. We go to Charm City for your Baltimore Ravens. After starting the season 1-5, they are back at 500. Lamar Jackson is healthy again. The defense has found itself. They are stopping people, and they welcome in the worst team in the NFL, the New York Football Jets. The Jets are benching Justin Fields, inserting 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor. They have traded every good player on their defense. Head coach Aaron Glenn has said, quote, "We are evaluating everything," which translated means we are in full tank mode for next year's number 1 pick in the NFL draft. 13.5 points is the line. It's a lot to give in the NFL. We know that. But this game will be over in the first quarter. Lamar Jackson probably won't even play in the fourth quarter as the Ravens roll the Jets 38-10. Lock it.
Now, I will say this. First of all, Bach Lock is off to an 0-1 start. He was wrong last week. What did he pick again?
He picked Kansas City.
That's right.
Based on the line. I mean, his logic was not terrible.
Right.
Yeah, he was wrong.
He had Chiefs by a touchdown, which, look out for those Denver Broncos. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. But, yeah, Jan hadn't heard the Bach Lock before he went on the air, and he's a Ravens guy. Thoughts on that, Jan?
It makes me happy. But B, I think he's right. I mean, the Jets traded guys away. They're not trying to win, and the Ravens are a team that doesn't slip up in a spot like this.
I will say this. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but Lamar hasn't been exactly Lamar. That offense hasn't been churning. Look what he did. They barely pulled one out they struggled against the Browns.
Yeah, if Sanders didn't come in, they may have slipped away. But the Browns always worry me. I think I said that when we were talking last week because the Browns worry me. They play good defense, divisional game. Jets don't worry.
Anybody going to watch Browns Raiders this week? By the way, well, Shedeur Sanders making a debut. So,
he played. Starting debut.
Right, starting debut. All right.
He was terrible. 4 for 17 or something like that. He was
Watch him light it up
terrible.
again. But yeah, I mean, the coughing started again just in time to end the show.
Well, you want me to get
I don't know what's going on before
I'll go into my pick?
Yeah, you go first before I...
So I'm also picking a big line. Season ended today. The Lions would not be in the playoffs. I don't buy it. We pick on Monday, if the audience doesn't know. So at that time, I didn't know if Jackson Dart was going to play, but he's not playing.
That's right. We pick our Chronicle picks are on Monday, yeah.
Right. So, and we don't change them. So I'm picking a Lions blowout. They're giving 11.5. I picked 45-17. Lions are making the playoffs. They're going to figure it out, and it's going to start. It's going to start this week.
It's a heck of a great team. I mean, that'd be a shock.
They'll be dangerous. They'll be dangerous still. They may be a 6 seed or whatever, but they'll be dangerous.
Before we get to Nick, I'm going to go with the LA Rams, which I have in the Chronicle picks. I like the Rams minus 6.5. I think they're a Super Bowl team. Matthew Stafford, if he's careful, should get the Rams to the Super Bowl. It's a heck of an offense. Nakua is one of my favorite wide receivers. Matthew Stafford, 4 touchdown passes. Rams roll over the fading Bucks, 31-21. And Nick, what do you got for a lock for NFL pick this weekend?
I think Dallas will beat Philly by 2 touchdowns.
All right, there we go. Whoa!
Not only just a win, but a big win.
And I will say this about the Eagles. All the talent there, A.J. Brown, they can't. They're 8-2. They're winning games. Not pretty.
No.
But they got problems. They got serious drama going on there.
It feels like most teams do. And the AFC, you got right now the Ravens are out of the playoffs. I think they'll get there. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs, and the Bills have lost 3 in a row or lost.
Yeah, the Bills are failing. They lost to Houston, so that's a weird team.
Maybe.
Yep. All right, so that'll wrap things up for the Friday sports scene. Jan, I know you'll be checking in, but best of luck. We'll keep close eye on the Plainfield girls. And Nick Erlinson, you're in the hot seat 2 weeks from today. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Big thanks to J. Matt Rupar, our local Dunkin' stores. That'll do it for the Friday sports scene. You're on 14 WILI Willimantic and 95.3 FM. And don't forget, you can watch us on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Have a great weekend.